if you're a Christian, please come into the chat. There is a thought that I've just been having. I just want other people's perspective before I can conclude on my thought process. I feel like God created humans to exist biologically, meaning God already created the reproductive natural process as a system. Just as we have our digestive system, we have our respiratory system. For example, you don't have to pray to God to breathe. You don't have to pray to God for your food to get digested. Your food will just digest on its own. You don't have to pray to God to use your brain. He already created our neurological system, our nervous system. These are systems that God already created. Okay, let's leave the body. How about ecosystem and gravity? I feel like these are systems God already created. Just the way we have our rainy season, our dry season. You don't have to pray for rainy season. You don't have to pray for dry season. It comes on everybody. I feel like these are systems. As we have our natural laws, whatever you sow is what you reap. Whatever goes up must come down. These are systems. These are laws. I just feel like that same thing with our reproductive system. God already created humans to exist biologically, meaning you don't have to pray per se for pregnancy to happen. Once the system, the reproductive system that God created is engaging, meaning when there is fusion of the male sex gametes and the female sex gametes, there is sperm and egg, what happens? Pregnancy what occurs, birth, and what a child is brought forth. So I feel like this is it. But now when there is a difficulty, or when there is a situation of maybe difficulty in getting pregnant or difficulty with the system, like in cases of infertility, delayed pregnancy, you can now pray to the creator of that system to be able to do what? Come to your aid. Because if we say this reproductive system per se is like solely dependent on God per every time, how are we going to explain pregnancies that come from horrific experience like rape? How are we going to explain that? So I just feel like, just like the other systems, I'm in my thought process, I'm thinking, and I honestly need different perspectives to add up to my thought process. I'm just thinking that the reproductive system is also like every other system that God created. For example, you don't have to pray to think, to use your brain. You don't have to pray for your food to get digested. You don't have to pray for you to do what? Use your heart, for your heart to beat. All of these are systems that God already created. But when there is a difficulty, there is a situation, then we cannot pray to the creator of the system to be able to do what? Intervene. So guys, I need your perspective. I don't know if you understand. What I'm just trying to say is that I feel like God already created humans to exist biologically, meaning our reproductive system, as every other system that we have in our body, exists naturally. Once there is ignition, or there is what you making the process that is supposed to make that system produce child, once you engage in that process, a child will come forth. But when the system fails, you can now meet the creator of the system to intervene. So I'm just thinking, this is for, I'm not talking about religious fanatics, so please, religious fanatics, this is not for you, because you will not understand my perspective. I'm talking about those that are really flexible in knowledge, that love to unlearn and relearn. This is what I'm thinking. So I need your 2 cents to it. Bye, guys.